Hello everybody, I'm Philip Coates, the inventor of the Gentle Roller machine.
And I'm Joni Cornell, for whom the machine was invented.
Now, we mentioned in an earlier video that we were going to take on a carpet challenge video, and the reason for this being,
we know that the Gentle Roller can handle fine felts such as these scarves,
and can also do garments such as this woolen jumper here. But what we want to prove today is that the Gentle Roller can also handle much heavier, thicker gauge material like a rug or a carpet runner.
Now this is not intended as a tutorial, so we won't be working step by step through the process. We'll leave that for another time.
But we will be sharing some milestones along the way, and the carpet itself will mostly be made out of heavy gauge 30 micron fibres like this here.
Now this is merino. The superfine that I usually work with is between 16 and 18.5 micron. This is over 30 microns, so it's coarser and much more prickly. And my motto has always been, why wear prickly against your skin when you can wear superfine?
But Joan has decided to start with her signature wedded sari silk, which is this, what we have prepared for you at the moment. And what is this in fact, Joan?
It's one whole piece of silk sari on the bottom, and I've laid several layers of superfine merino on top. And I'm going to pre-felt this as a pretty face for the carpet.
So we can see Joan's finished the laying up of the superfine merino wool, and the next steps are?
Wetting it down, taking it up on the central roller of the Gentle Roller machine, and putting it through its paces.
So we'll see you soon. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the carpet challenge video. Joan, where are we up to?
We've got a really good quality pre-felt. The sari silks adhered really well to the superfine merino. When I push against it, you won't see it on the video, but it moves as one, which is an indication that it's there as pre-felt.
Alright, excellent. And the next step is we're going to be laying the carpet wool.
The corset wool. I'm going to attempt to be really heavy-handed with the laying, which will be a bit of a challenge for me because I'm so thin when it comes to laying usually. I'm hoping it'll only take around 12 layers or so.
And I can see you've already started a little bit on the corner
there.
there.
I've just given it a little bit of a go there on the corner there.
Alright, so we'll come back in a few seconds of camera time and
sure.
an hour or so of real time after you've done the wool layup.
Not a problem.
Go for it.
I certainly will.
We'll be back in a few seconds when Joan has finished 12 layers.
I'm still going, laying up layer number 10.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Joan, I can see you've been busy.
I have.
What have you been doing?
I've got the 12 layers of fibre laid, and I've got a pretty thick base.
Yep, I can see it's a lot thicker than you normally work with. How thick do you think we're going to have this piece of material when we're finished?
I'm hoping for something as thick as this rim of this little pot that I've got here.
Alright, so that'll be a pretty heavy piece of carpet material. And what do we do next?
Well, it's ready to rock and roll.
Alright, well let's put the top layer of plastic on.
Yeah, we will.
And I'll get it on the roller.
Super. Welcome back everyone. We've got a piece of pre-felt here in front of me, and since Philip was the one who did all the rolling, I'll hand it over to him. He can describe to you what the experience was like for him.
Alright, well the experience was a very wet one because a piece of felt and wool this big carries an awful lot of water, and when it was wet down and put on the roll it would have weighed a good 10 kilos or 22 pound in the old money, and I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you've got a wet studio floor where you can spill a lot of water, because as you roll it up it goes everywhere. We didn't do a tutorial, as Joan said at the beginning, because we were learning along the way, and I must admit we made a few mistakes, fixed a few errors, learned a few tricks, and invented a new product as a result of our experience making this particular rug. But I think we got a fairly good finished product at the end of the day.
Well, it's not quite finished yet.
Not quite finished yet because there's another step to go. But do you want to highlight a couple of the products, a couple of the areas?
Sure. Okay, we've got some really good spots over here and here. A few loose spots here, but they should come good in the fulling process, so I'm not too concerned about that. You can see the fibres have come through. I've got brown on the back, and the brown you can see it coming through to the surface.
Overall, pretty happy with that.
Yeah, pretty happy with it.
Alright, so I'm going to take it away and full it or finish it in my rumbler machine, as I've called it. The rumbler fits onto the gentle roller unit. I can't show you it unfortunately because it's a prototype and I don't think it's quite camera ready, but it'll certainly be ready by the time we're up and running, and I'll have some pictures for you to look at shortly, but not in a position to show it right now. I'll take this away, we'll do some rumbling, we're going to try and shrink it about 30%, and we'll be back to have another look a little bit later.
And when we come back, we'll have it finished and dry to show you.
Finished and dried.
Finished and dry.
Right. Thanks, Joan.
No problem. Welcome back everyone. The last time we caught up, Philip is about to put the pre-felt in his rumbler. How do we go, Philip?
Well, I did just that, and apologies for the tie-dye t-shirt. Joan said wear more colour, so I did. Put it in the rumbler. We've shrunk it about 30%, as you can see physically from the size on the video there. We put it on a door for those eagle-eyed people who did notice. Yes, it was a door, and it's physically shrunk noticeably. The silk on the top has roushed beautifully, underneath it's roushed or rippled as well. I think we've got a good finish, good carpet runner.
Looks great, and my pretty face looks quite pretty.
It does look quite pretty, it just needs a little bit of defluffing in a few spots.
Yeah, just a bit of polishing, finish it off.
That's excellent. Now, when we set ourselves the challenge of doing the carpet challenge video, we wanted to show that the gentle roller could do the finest quality of really lightweight Nuno scarves through to garment material, through to the heaviest duty carpet type material, and I think we've succeeded with our challenge. In fact, the density of this piece of material is almost twice as dense as commercial carpet. So I think we've proven proof positive the gentle roller can manage anything that's thrown at it.
Just a word of advice, try this at home if you don't have a gentle roller machine. As as you probably see, as you've seen, Philip was the one who took it up on the roller and actually put it onto the machine. It was just too darn heavy for me to manage.
Yes, you wouldn't want to try and roll it manually,
No.
and don't try it at home unless you've got a wet work area because it's,
And an assistant.
and an assistant, perhaps. Yes, it does generate an awful lot of water spillage, which the general roller can cope with without any problems. So there you are, cup challenge done.
Done.
Tick a box. See you all on another video.
Yeah. I almost had to say goodbye.
Bye, Joan.
See ya.